Hey, I brought my new friend over. I hope that's cool.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Emma?
Yeah, Emma?
How'd you meet your friend?
Oh, in a dark alley on the way over here. She just seemed cool and nice.
I don't know about that.
What? Don't be silly.
Do you hear the music?
Oh, yeah, we should call the cops. Hi, I'm Emma. So you know when Netflix recommends a show or a movie to you and it keeps shoving it down your throat until you finally give in and watch it? That happened to me with Secret Obsession. Just by watching seconds of the trailer, I could tell this was going to be a terrible movie, but I gave in, and I was right. But why was this movie so terrible? Let's talk about it. Real quick, the plot of this movie is equal parts complicated, predictable, and boring. It opens up with Jennifer, played by Brenda's song, running from some guy. The chase scene is really slow and confusing, but eventually she gets hit by a car. And she wakes up in the hospital, where her husband insists on checking on her. And this is where the movie falls apart. Already, this guy is creepy. They're playing happy music, but the way he holds himself and behaves is really unnerving. They try to throw you off with some other guy dressed in dark clothes behaving weirdly, but the husband is creepier than the creepy guy. By the way, rest in peace to the creepy guy, whose purpose was never really established, but his decomposing body will fertilize that garden, so... Jennifer's all banged up from the car crash, and her totally not fake husband Mike Vogel takes her back to their cabin in the woods that doesn't have any cell service. And no one is worried about her at all. Wrong. There is a detective who takes Jennifer's case oddly seriously because of some boring backstory, but he is really bad at his job, along with everybody else in the movie, which is why we hate everyone in this movie. So it turns out creepy fake husband is actually creepy coworker who decided to murder everyone that Jennifer loves after she married someone that wasn't him. It takes Jennifer a long time to realize that because of her memory loss, and it takes the detective an equally long time due to incompetence. Blah blah blah, Jennifer moves back to California completely unfazed by the absolute slaughter of everyone that she cared about, and the detective retires, never to find his lost daughter, which was his backstory we were supposed to be invested in. Also, creepy husband was shot a couple times. He died. Just because a movie's predictable doesn't mean it's garbage. We, as viewers, like to see happy endings sometimes. It's really common in Hollywood tropes, and just because it's not my cup of tea doesn't mean millions of people won't pay for it. The issue with this movie and so many other Netflix movies, usually the ones that Netflix has bought, not the produced by Netflix ones, is that the movie thinks we're stupid, and we're not stupid. Immediately the film gives us way too much information and then thinks we don't know what to do with it. For example, a character with a forgotten memory is a hard enough plot point to deal with already, and the way Jennifer reacts to her definitely not husband from the get-go is something that makes us suspicious in turn. Then the film uses flashbacks of her slowly regaining her memory to drill home the fact that the creepy guy that we don't trust is the creepy guy who we shouldn't trust. And on top of that, it's infuriating to watch a main character who has all the information that we have not know exactly what's going on. He's creepy. She knows that, but she doesn't
act on it for some reason.
I think with better directing and smarter editing choices, the film would have still been bad, but it would have been watchable instead of boring and infuriating at the same time. It's like with the choice of the man in the dark clothing. He's used as a blatant red herring that is supposed to throw us off the track of the husband, but it doesn't work at all. With those guys and the rest of the film, music is used blatantly to try to sway our opinion, but when you've got two tracks that don't even sound like they're coming from the same film, it stops becoming a subtle guidance and more just annoying and another blatant way that the movie says that it thinks we're stupid. Trying to trick someone in film isn't an uncommon thing. Frozen tricked me the first time I saw it, but that film gave me a plausible alternative. You have to give the audience something to believe if you're going to successfully trick them. This film does not do that at all. From the very beginning of the film, you can see there's only one way that this is going to play out, which makes for a really terrible story. And with that in mind, based on conversation alone, I know most people will give a movie 15 minutes maximum before they turn it off. This movie doesn't capture you at all. And there's so much easily accessible content that why should people waste their time on this? So I've been talking a lot of smack, but I figured before I wrapped this video up, I should provide some alternatives that would have made this film work a lot better, in my opinion. I would say writing is my specialty, so I focused on 3 plot elements that I would change about Secret Obsession. Number 1, I wouldn't have made the husband a casual serial killer. I think if he had had a hesitation about murdering everybody, he would have been a much more complicated character. Maybe if he'd kept the actual husband locked up for Jennifer to find him later, then the film could have been uplifting and hopeful as they escape from this crazy guy together, rather than him just murdering everyone Jennifer has ever met. Number 2, start with the car accident instead of establishing that there's a bad guy. Maybe if Jennifer had been running through the woods with close shots and then got hit by the car, we wouldn't have had that already established creepy guy. Because we know she's being chased by someone, it immediately makes us skeptical of every character in the movie, and since there's really only 3 characters, we don't have much of a choice of who the creepy guy is, and it would have built a lot more suspense if we don't know what the issue was, we just know she was running from something. Number 3, don't give the detective a backstory. Just don't. I'm not a huge fan of police officers and detectives having like a complicated backstory that explains why they're so overly invested in this case. I just want to see a guy who's good fighting for good because that's the right thing to do. Or if you insist on giving him a backstory, make it better. This one was too vague for us to get invested in. He just stopped looking for his missing daughter at the end of the movie. It was a surprisingly sad and totally rushed over resolution to this plotline. So if you, like me, finally gave in and watched Secret Obsession, what would you change? And if you are lucky and haven't seen this movie, what's the worst movie you've seen recently? I really want to know down in the comments below. And if you have an opinion of what I should watch next, let me know, and I'll check it out, and maybe I'll do a review on this channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to hang out with me on other places on the internet, I have Twitter, Instagram, I just made a Facebook page, and I stream on Twitch, so come and hang out with me there. I just play video games and talk sometimes, and it's a lot of fun. But I hope you will see me next time, guys. Bye.